Hello, welcome to the video lecture on strings. In this present lecture, we are going to learn about what is a string, what is a character array, difference between string and character array, traversing of a string and character array, accepting string as an input, some important points about strings and character arrays. First, let us talk about strings. The string can be defined as the one-dimensional array of characters terminated by a null character. The character array or the string is used to manipulate text such as a word or sentences. Each character in the array occupies 1 byte of memory and the last character must always be null. The termination character, null character, is important in a string since it is the only way to identify where the string ends. When we define a string as a char s10, the character s10 is implicitly initialized with the null in the memory. There are two ways to declare a string in a C language. One, by char array, two, by string array. Let us see the example of declaring strings by char array in C language. The syntax is that the data type char ch and we are giving some size 10. That means we have declared a one-dimensional array of data type char with the size 10 which accommodates 10 symbols. Now we are assigning those symbols with the help of the assignment operator within the curly braces. Individual symbols are given with single quotes. And if you observe at the end, last we have included the null character. As we know, array index starts from 0, so it will be represented as in the figure given below, like this. 0 at position 0, j, and at position 10, null character. While declaring string, size is not mandatory, so we can write the above code as given below. Char ch, and we are not mentioning any size, but we repeat it as it is. Even in such case also, it is acceptable. We can also define a string by using string literal in C language. For example, simply we call char ch, we are not giving any size, but within double quotes, we are putting the same string Java point. But the point that we have to observe is that here we have not included the null character. In such case, null character will be appended at the end of the string by the compiler. Now, what is the difference between the char array and string literal? There are two main differences between char array and literal. We need to add null character at the end of the array by ourselves, whereas it is appended internally by the compiler in the case of the character array. The string literal cannot be reassigned to another set of characters, whereas we can reassign the characters of the array. Now, another concept is traversing a string. Traversing the string is one of the most important aspects in any of the programming languages. We may need to manipulate a very large text which can be traversed. Traversing string is somewhat different from the traversing an integer array. We need to know the length of the array to traverse an integer array, whereas we may use the null character in the case of a string to identify the end the string and terminate the loop. Hence, there are two ways of traversing a string: by using the length of the string, by using the null character. Let us discuss each of the using the length of the string. Let us see an example of counting the number of vowels in a string. So for that, what we are doing, we are declaring a character array S11, and for that we have putting a literal Java point. Now int I is equal to 0, int count is equal to 0. These are the initializations. Now we are taking for I is less than or equal to 11, because the size is 11. If S of I is equal to A, S of I is equal to B, E, etc. We are writing all this, and we are every time we are putting a counter count plus plus, and already we are incrementing the loop conditional variable I also. Now when all these iterations are over, printf the number of vowels in the count, and the answer will be 4. Now, second method is using the null character. Let us see the same example of counting the number of vowels by using the null character. Here, in the beginning, the statements are same, while SI is not equal to null. This is the difference when you compare to the previous program. Now, rest of the things are same, and when it is executed, it also gives the number of vowels in the string, that is 4. Now, accepting string as the input. Till now, we have used scanf to accept the input from the user. However, it can also be used in the case of strings, but with a different scenario. Consider the below code which stores the string while space is encountered. Now, char s is a string array. Printf enter the string, so we are printing scanf percentile s, printf percentile s, yes. So now what happening? By taking the scanf statement, automatically the string will be taken. For example, you are giving Java point blank is blank the blank best. So here the blanks are also there, separate, that are separating the words. So in such case, when the blanks are there, or if a string is being separated by blanks, in such case, the previous statements we have used are not useful, but scanf is useful. Now that by using the scanf, all these words or tokens along with these blanks will be taken, and now if you print it, you will print as you entered the Java point. It is clear from the output that the above code will not work for space spreading strings. To make this code working for the space spreading strings, the minor changes required in the scanf function. That is, instead of writing scanf percentile s, we must write a new symbol like this, which instructs the compiler to store the string while new line character is encountered. Let us consider the following example to store the space separated strings. Consider the following example to store the space separated strings. The same program, only here we have changed the control string in the scanf function. Now, some important points. However, there are following points which must be noticed while entering the strings by using scanf. The compiler does not perform bounds checking on the character array. Hence, there can be a case where the length of the string can exceed the dimensions of the character array, which may always override some important data. Second point is, instead of using scanf, we may use getters, which is an inbuilt function defined in a header file string.h. The getters is capable of receiving only one string at a time. Thus, in the present video, we have learned what is a string, what is a character array, difference between string and character array, traversing a string and character array, accepting a string as input. Some important points also about the strings and character arrays. Thank you.